next, let's learn about what are data types in Python. So, data types. So usually we have a lot of data types that we are gonna see in the future video, but for now there are some basic data types. Okay, so first one is numeric. So numeric, as the name suggests, is just numbers, and we have like three types of numeric data types. One is called integers. Integers are just like whole numbers. It can be 0, 1, 2 or minus 3, minus 2, anything like that. Second, we have floating numbers, floats. These can be like 0.8 or like 5 by 3 when like it converts into decimal and stores the same. So these are floats. And third thing, you don't have to worry about if you are not from science stream or didn't have maths. These are called complex numbers. So first one is this numeric, which consists of integers and floats that you have to worry about. Second, strings. So strings can be simply like data types which consist of strings, like let's say someone's name, someone's address, or let's say someone other string values. String, like for example, this is a string. So anything inside a double quote or a single quote is a string. And if you just have, let's say, address, if I have as Nainital. Also, one more thing, in strings there it's called characters. So its definition is a little simpler version of the string. Let's say you just have one letter, let's say just A, or let's say just Z. So this is called character. So what are characters? Characters are just strings with a single value. That's all. So this is the second thing. Now comes the next thing. Third is called bool or booleans. Sometimes we have conditions like seen in the previous example, like for example, is raining today. Is raining today. And the values for it can just be a true value, maybe a yes, or maybe a false value, maybe a no. So if we have something like that, then we call it boolean. So these are the three basic data types that you have to worry about. First one is numeric, the second was is string, and the third one is booleans. So let's just subcategorize them. So we have data types as integers, floats, then we have strings, then we have characters, then we have booleans. So these are the data types you have to worry about for now, and for rest of the data types, the complex data types, and for like data structures, we will learn in the future video. Okay, let's see some data types in action. So I will just create a file here called data types, and I'm going to discuss all of these data types that I just discussed now. Okay, so the first one is just a number, and in the number, let's say an integer. Okay, so I will just call it integer 1, and we will just give it a integer value. So this is 10, and I will just give it a integer 2, let's say 20. So these are numeric data types, and what in numeric? Simply integers. So I will just make this integers, and this is a comment which I will discuss in the next video. Next one is like we have simply floats. Floats can be a simple pi, for example, that has the value 3.14. Anything which has decimal place in it. So this can be one of them. Okay, we can have more examples for floats. Next one, let's talk about strings. And in strings, that can be a name. Let's say my name. It can be address. It can be simply my address as Nainital, let's say. Next, we can have the other data types. We call it characters. So what are characters? If we just have a simple single quote, single value thing, we call it a character. So it can be this single character. So that is called character, like just one value of the string. Next, we can have booleans. So booleans can be simply a truthy value or a false value. Like for example, is a user admin, true or false? Simple. If is, let's say, raining, this can be a true or a false. Simple. So these are called booleans. So these are the data types in action.